George Burns and Gracie Allen. With yours truly, Bill Goodwin, and the music of Meredith Wilson and his orchestra. Last week, in order to get the part of a husband in a picture, I invited a movie producer to the Burns home and pretended to be Gracie's husband. Together, we convinced the producer that I was a dull, uninteresting married man. Sounds unbelievable, doesn't it? Well, if you think that's unbelievable, we also convinced him that George was an irresistible lady killer. So he forgot me and hired George to play a wolf. This news has just been released, and so for further details, we take you to the NBC newsroom.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Dick Joy reporting your last-minute news. Flash. Movie producer Lawrence Sherwood dropped a bombshell on Hollywood tonight when he announced that the most coveted screen role of the year, that of the Wolf in the new Betty Grable picture, would go to a sensational new screen lover, George Burns. Friends of Sherwood had expected him to cast Bill Goodwin in the role of the Wolf who chases Miss Grable, a part which Goodwin has rehearsed for years. All Hollywood is false, says Luella Parsons.
In my humble opinion, a picture starring George Burns should have everything. It'll need it.
Says movie producer Georgie Jessel.
Many new ideas have come out of the war. Casting George Burns as a wolf is a Revolutionary War idea. By that I mean it would have been a great idea during the Revolutionary War.
When told that her new leading man would be George Burns, Betty Grable had this to say.
Darling, did you hear the news on the radio? Sherwood has just announced that he's co-starring you with Betty Grable.
Really? He must be out of his mind. I'm no movie star.
But you can be, dear. You're loaded with sex appeal.
Oh, don't be silly. Let him get some guy like Gregory Peck.
Oh, pooh. How can you compare a peck to a man who has it by the bushel?
Oh, forget it. I'm not for pictures.
George, have you ever studied yourself in the mirror and seen how really handsome you are? That straight nose, that square jaw, those perfectly formed chins.
Yes, I'm gorgeous.
Yeah, I mean it. You've got everything any leading man on the screen has. I'll prove it to you. Just name one.
All right. Charles Boyer.
Charles Boyer. What's he got?
What's he got? How about those eyes?
You've got just as many.
It's not how many. It's what he can do with them.
Well, there he's not even in the same class with you. One look from your deep, smoldering pools of passion would make a woman forget her husband. Look at me.
I'm looking.
Come closer, Fred.
Fred?
Yeah, oh. Now, you see, you made me forget my husband.
Gracie, look, granted I might have a certain amount of charm, but could I handle the acting part of a picture role?
I knew you were going to say that, and I'm ready for you.
What do you mean?
Well, I have a little scene here that I wrote just for you. You run the entire gamut of emotions in it.
Oh, Gracie, I'm not...
Oh, what's the matter? You afraid to find out how good you are?
Well, all right. Give me my part.
Here. Now, you play a soldier who has just come back from the war. You have a beard and a bandage around your head, and your eyes are all bloodshot. They'd look gorgeous in Technicolor.
Yes, I can see it all now.
All right, I speak first. And give it everything you've got, George.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, my darling, you're home. Home at last. After all these months of waiting, hoping, praying. Tell me, darling, quickly, are you all right? Are you all right?
Yes.
Oh, you've been shot. Yes, I can see it. You're wounded. Oh, my poor dearest. Where did they get you? Where?
Here.
It doesn't matter. I'll nurse you back to health. You'll be well and sound again, my love. You shall have every care. I'll never leave your side for a minute. You'll never be alone again. Never, never.
Gee.
Seeing you again, it's so wonderful. Oh, darling, I'm afraid I'm going to cry. No, I mustn't cry. Laugh. That's what I should do. Laugh. See, George, you're dynamite.
That settles it. I'm going to call the producer right now and tell him to forget it.
Oh, but George.
Oh, I'm not for that.
Come in.
Well, there you are, you little double-crossing picture stealer.
Bill,
Why, if you try to be Grable's leading man, they'll laugh you off the screen.
What do you mean? Wait till they see that physique and hear that voice. By George, it's a combination of Johnny Weissmuller and Frank Sinatra.
Well, you're right. He sings like Weissmuller and he's built like Sinatra.
Bill, I don't
To
want it.
think that you beat me out of a picture. You know, this ruins my career. I might as well throw myself in the ocean.
Oh, Bill, you wouldn't do that.
Yes, I will. And tomorrow they'll find me washed up on the beach. Me and a dead mackerel side by side. The only two things in the world that have less sex appeal than George Burns.
Bill, I've been trying to tell you, you can have the part. I'm going to call Sherwood and resign.
What?
Sure, you're the man for the part. You're so talented, so handsome, so charming. What am I?
You're so right. Grable deserves me. And let's face it, who can love Bill Goodwin better than Betty Grable?
Bill Goodwin.
See you later.
Hand me the phone, Gracie. I'll call Sherwood and resign.
Oh, George, wait until tomorrow. I have the strangest feeling you'll change your mind. So that's why I called you, Meredith. We've got to convince George that the public demands him.
Well, how can I help?
Well, by getting all the men in your orchestra to write George fan letters.
Well, I don't know about all of them.
Well, just ask those who know how to write.
Okay. That is, if a letter from my bass player will do any good.
Well, you write some, too. And all my girlfriends and I will write some.
Good.
And then I'll hire a couple of hundred bobby sockers to wait outside tomorrow and tear George's clothes off.
Oh, that'll sure make him a romantic figure.
Well, it will if I hide his long underwear tonight. Now, let's get busy, Meredith.
morning, Mrs. Burns.
Oh, hello, Mr. Postman.
I have a tremendous amount of mail for your husband this morning.
Oh, I know. I wrote most of it. I hope it wasn't too heavy for you to carry.
Oh, no. My muscles laugh at heavy weights. They call me the W.C. Fields of the post office.
They do?
Yes. I can carry such a tremendous load. But why should you write to your husband? Aren't you two on speaking terms?
Oh, yes, but I'm trying to make George a big picture star, and I want him to think these letters are from fan club. See, maybe your wife could organize one.
My wife?
Well, yes, she's quite a club woman, isn't she?
No, she uses her bare hands. Well, goodbye, Mrs. Burns. Remember, keep smiling.
Oh, George, look at these letters.
What are they?
Oh, they're fan letters, darling. Letters from adoring women, all clamoring to see you on the screen.
Oh, go on.
Well, now here, look, I'll read one. Now, listen to this. My dearest, darling dream boy, when I heard that you were coming to the screen, I kicked my husband out of the house, and now I keep your picture beneath my pillow.
Well, maybe she just wanted to get rid of her husband.
It's signed Mrs. Walter Pigeon.
Well, I'll be darned.
Oh, now look, here's another one. Dear Super Wolf,
Superwolf.
yes, you're our joy boy. You great big gorgeous hunk of oomph. And from now on, we will see only your pictures. Signed, George Burns Fan Club, formerly Van Johnson Fan Club.
Holy smoke. No one could be this big a success overnight.
Well, you're not an overnight success. You forget that for years, millions of people have listened to you on the radio.
That's right.
Are eagles hatched overnight? No. First, eggs must be laid. George, today you're hatching the eggs you laid on the radio.
Well, I'll tell you what I'll do, Gracie. I'll go over to the studio and talk this thing over with
Oh,
Sherwood.
good. Here's your coat. Now be careful and don't let the Bobby Sockers mob you.
Oh, don't be silly. If this were 20 years ago, maybe. Well, goodbye.
Goodbye.
Holy smoke. They're here. Hundreds of them.
Uh-huh. What did I tell you?
But I can't understand it. If this were 10 years ago, maybe. I'll look again. Gee, if this were a couple of years ago, maybe.
You better go out there before they tear the house down.
Okay, what the heck? Maybe they like men in their late 20s. Okay, girls, come and get me.
This is Dick Joy from the NBC newsroom again, ladies and gentlemen. Police riot squads were rushed to the home of George Burns a few moments ago when hundreds of berserk Bobby Sockers fought each other for a glimpse of their latest idol. Questioned as to the secret of his amazing new power over women, Burns refused to comment. But federal authorities are investigating the possibility that he's been able to harness atomic energy in vitamin form. Skeptics are now getting on the bandwagon, says Luella Parsons,
More power to you, George Burns.
says Georgie Jessel.
Producer Sherwood says he's going to play up George Burns' talent in this picture. Well, that's different. Why didn't he say he was going to use Gracie?
Her curiosity aroused by this wave of popularity, Betty Grable asked to have another look at Burns. Said Miss Grable,